Good afternoon, Mega Alert subscribers. I appreciate having you guys along. It is December the 21st, 2018, and right now we have a remarkable 47 markets in alert status, and in addition, we have another 22 markets in active trading status. It is an enormously busy time of the trading cycle just because everything is coming out of bottom formations after a great big long downtrend. So what I'm going to do today is put together a sheet that is a little bit of a commentary on each of these markets, and I'm going to make that available so that you can more quickly go through all of these markets and start to get an idea of what is coming up for them. And as always, this information is for educational purposes only. It's not actual trading advice. This will give you a little bit of what you need to make your decisions, but you'll have to do a whole bunch more research as well. So most of the trading commentary is based on hypothetical performance. All of these alerts and most of these markets are things that I'm not actually trading myself, but I'm going through the trading system and then marking it all out. And of course, this content is as close to my own strategies that I actually do, and I believe this is going to help you grow your portfolio, but there are no guarantees. In order to access the most recent information, the easiest way possible is to log into the website IntroToCryptos.ca and go to your course page. So here I'm looking at the Mega Alerts package main page, and when you scroll down on this page, be sure that you take the Phantom of the Pits book and read it. It's very important for learning how to control the risks in your trading. The stuff he teaches there has changed my perspective on trading profoundly, and I talk about it all the time, but I leave it to you to go and read this material to get it from the source. Second, I recommend that you get bonus number 2 and go and look at the bull market back testing and really get a feel for what these patterns actually turn up and do. Finally, of course, you can get a copy of the book by clicking here to open the December 2018 edition of the book. And this is my book about the simple trading plan, and it is about how I earned, invested, and traded Bitcoin and cryptocurrency from zero in 2015 to over $500,000 at the beginning of 2017. And now I'm on the mission to do that again, and hopefully even better. That's why I'm working so hard at this, and that's why I'm so grateful to have you guys along, helping out and supporting this work, and being there as an audience so that it really keeps me focused. So you can go to the Poloniex markets, and these ones have been updated already today. You can see the most recent date up in the top corner here all the time. That's the one I've updated it most recently here. And I don't know why the columns don't pull in properly. So what I've done is I've placed the headers up along the top here so that you can see which ones, and click on the screenshot, open in a new tab, or hold Control when you click that so that you can be looking at chart after chart. So this gives you a static image of what the chart formation looked like. The bottom of the green line is where the entry signal is. The top of the green line is what I put in for a profit-taking area, but I don't trade that way. I don't tell the market when I'm right. I let the market tell me when I'm right. And so I follow up with my stop losses below that, and I look for a top formation for my confirmation on when to get out. And sometimes I'm hoping that's going to be months away rather than a specific line on the chart. I put these on there so that we can get those calculations, so that we can see what's your profit potential, what's your risk, what's the risk to reward ratio. And you can see the red line down below the price level. That is our initial emergency stop loss. If you put on your trade and you leave it to come back to your stop loss, you're going to have larger losses than you should have. And you haven't read Phantom of the Pits book if you trade that way. So as I'm going through, these are hypothetical trades, and I will leave the stop loss where it is, and I will let the market do its thing, and then I use what's in the spreadsheets to show that this was a losing trade if it comes back to hit this. It is not the way I actually trade myself. I use rule number 1, and I get out of the trades if they do not prove me correct. I don't hold them until the market proves me wrong. So there's a really important distinction about how to use these alerts. So here we can see all the way through it in all the Poloniex alerts. I'll keep explaining a bit more. Down below, we see the ones that are already open trades. These are alerts that have been triggered and have turned into alerts. So we can see the coin, the date, the target entry price, where we got into it, the target profit, the type of trade signal, so that we can do stats on that later to see how successful were the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations on the 1 hour versus the 4 hour versus the simple trading plan. And the trend continuation, there's a few others that we will review to see what their success ratio is over time. So there's our target. Here's our emergency stop loss. If we hit the emergency stop loss, that's how much we're going to lose. If it goes up to our target price, there's our gain. And this is the risk to reward ratio. The higher, the better. If it is negative, that means that I've already moved the stop loss up above the entry point. So here the stop loss is at 83.94 and our entry point was at 51.54. And so that one is a locked in profit already of 62%, and it's sitting right now at 226%, no, 97% potential profit. And our target is up at 226%. So Namecoin, here's another one where we got in at 111111, and the stop loss has been moved up to 13,409. So each day, I'd recommend that if you are trading any one of these markets, be sure to come in and check to see what the stop loss is. There are so many markets going on right now that I would flood you with everything going on if I was to send out every single one of these. An alternative is to go into our Discord chat, and often I will be writing in the trade alerts category, and I'll be updating things as it's happening. So if you're in here and you're watching along with this, then you'll get a lot more live information, but I'm not sending that out as often as it's happening. So it's up to you to come into the website and double check things, or follow along on the Discord chat and you'll get some information there too. Then I've collected up all of the closed trades. So any one of those trades that I've put on and they come back and they hit that emergency stop loss, I'm doing the calculations to see how many of them were successful, how many of them were fails, and what the percentage win-loss ratio is, what kind of trade was it. And I can tell you these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour bars, there's a lot of losses on those earlier in December and end of November as they were doing quick shots up and then coming right back down and then hitting the stop loss. So these were really high risk trades, and we can see that if for all of them, you'll see here's the final profit loss, and we see the final screenshot. So we see the screenshot, hit control and click it, hit control and click it. Now you can compare what I was looking at before the trade was put on and what actually happened afterwards. So we can go and say, there's library credit, there's where we got into the trade, it came up into this trading signal area, there's our stop loss, and then after the trade, you can see that prices came up and they just hammered right back down to this. And so these kind of small formations often have fake out breakouts and prices coming back. So often, in fact, that we can open these up and we see there's a loss in Digibyte of 11%. Here's a final profit of 21% in Burst Coin. Here's a profit of 1.5% in Dogecoin because I put the stop loss up above the entry point as we were moving along here. Another trade in Doge was a 15% profit. Syscoin was minus 8% profit, so I'll open that one up and we can take a look. So let's take a look at that Digibyte trade. Here's where we got into it, and the prices came back, and as we see here, they came back and hit the stop loss for a 12% loss. So we can see this formation. I put the entry point above technical levels over here, and it wasn't enough. Prices just got up to those levels and then came back. So rule number one is you put on the trade and you're watching it. If it's not proving you correct, you get out right away. Don't hold it till it hits your stop loss. Don't use your stop losses that way. As I've said before, it's like using your seatbelt in the car instead of your brakes. So you just drive along and hit things knowing that the seatbelt is going to stop you. You're going to take a lot of damage. You know it intuitively. Syscoin, here is the initial breakout. It came up, just tagged us in, and then faded way back and kicked us out, and later made a huge run up. So these kind of short-term, very small 1, 2, 3 bottom formations are super high risk for fake out breakouts. And I'll be pulling together more data on that to make that really clear, and the trading systems we should be using instead of the trading systems we may want to be using. All right, so there's Poloniex. And then we have the Binance markets. I'll open that up in a new tab. The Binance market page is set up the same way as the Poloniex page. So we have the coin, the current price, the date, the entry price, the trade type, the profit target, stop loss, risk reward, and then if we open this up, we get the screenshot. So ADX is an alert. All of these ones up here are alerts. And we have like 50 of them. There's so many markets that are showing up to being alerts right now that it actually takes a while to go through them all and see. So what you can do to shorten that time is to sort it by risk to reward ratio. So the higher risk to reward ratios you'll want to take a look at, theta, fuel, and I think fuel has turned into an active trade here today. Then down in the next spreadsheet down here, we have the Binance open trades. These are ones that were alerts and have already taken off as trades. So we can see here now the profit in the open trade, the open profit and loss right now. And then we can open this up and take a look at the screenshot of what was the trade signal. Now we're looking at the date of when we got into the trade type. And again, double check these trades. If you are trading this market, come in here. You've got to come in here and double check to see if the stop loss has been changed. I just can't send them all out. And this is ADA before things actually took off. So if I go to ADA now, you can see that afterwards we got into the trade and prices stayed right above our level, and now they've moved up a little bit. And so I've moved the stop loss up to 933, and I'm leaving it back a ways in the market. Let the market have room to move. This is one of the strategies that I'm trying to do, is to leave the market have enough room to move back and forth rather than moving the stop off real close. And then we get stopped out at a nice profit and we miss out on the rest of the big move that I believe is coming yet. So I'm still leaving these stop losses back a good ways, and I'm okay with the profit, risking this potential profit for the opportunity to make really amazing, greater profits in the future with it. As we go along, I'll also talk about when to add on to these trades. Rule number 2 is that you put on a part of your trade and then you add on correctly when you're proven correct. Without exception, you add on correctly. Adding on correctly is a trick. It's hard to do. There's a lot of variability in it. So what I'm looking for is prices to come up to historical support and resistance levels, then pull back to the 50% level of the recent move, make an internal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and then buy extra on the strength. So this is the trend continuation pattern within the trend. And we'll also be looking at Ichimoku clouds to confirm some of these add-on positions. So sometimes the add-on position will be a couple weeks after the initial profitable trade is put on. If we are going into a real bull market, it'll take that long for these things to happen. So be patient with these. We're looking at longer term strategies here.